Here's a system of equations problem. This is a really good EOC problem because it gives you the system of equations to solve, but your final answer is x plus y. That's what it's looking for. Not only is this a good multiple choice problem, this is a good problem for them to ask you to fill in the grid with because you're only giving one answer instead of two. So in order to solve the system of equations, what we have to do is we have to get rid of either the x value or the y value. And here's how we have to do that. We have to change one or both of the equations. So the number in front of the variable is the same number but different signs. So one would have to be plus, one would have to be minus. Since the y already has a plus and a minus, it looks like it would be easier to simplify y. So we got to figure out what number can we make both of these in order to make them the same but different signs, and what would we have to multiply each equation by in order to make that the same number. So the least common factor, the least common multiple between these two is 6. So I can multiply this top equation by 2 and this bottom equation by 3. So in order to do that, here's what I'll end up with. And you have to multiply each and every term by 2, each and every term by 3 on both sides. It's very important. So I'll end up with 12x minus 6y equals 84. Then in my other equation, I'll end up with 12x plus 6y equals negative 12. Now, don't be fooled, because here we have the same number and here we have the same number. It's going to end up like that. However, when we solve a system using elimination, we add them up, and we end up with 12x plus 12x is 24x. The y's cancel out, and then 84 minus 12 is 72. So then that's how we solve. We divide both sides by 24, and we get x equals 3. So that's the first part of our answer. We have our x. Now we have to go back and find our y. So in order to find our y, what we're going to do is we're going to take this x equals 3 and plug it into one of these equations. I typically like to pick the one with a smaller number, but truthfully it does not matter which one we choose. So I'll plug it into the second one. Here is 4x plus 2y equals negative 4. Notice how instead of x, I went ahead and I put a set of parentheses, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug in 3 there. Now I'm going to simplify and solve for y. I have 12 plus 2y equals negative 4. Subtract 12 on both sides. And 2y equals negative 16. We divide both sides by 2, and we end up with y equals negative 8. So now that we have these two numbers, x equals 3 and y equals negative 8, what we have to do is we have to add them up in order to get our final answer. So we get 3 plus negative 8, that's the same thing as 3 minus 8. So our final answer is going to be negative 5.